And we live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Forex Fire. This time it was Tiger that disappeared for a while there.
Wow.
Not just me. How's it going, Tiger?
It's going all right. It's Friday. It's a great day by default. I say every single Friday.
Absolutely. TGIF.
Chilling in a gold trade, looking good. And like I said to you earlier, I'm still in a stock trade on CVX, and I normally close. Well, sometimes I close them out at the end of the intraday session, but I totally forgot to shut this one down. So hopefully, when the pre-market opens up here in about 29 minutes, hopefully I don't get any crazy gaps. It's a short.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a short. It's a short opportunity, so we'll see. But U.S. as far as oil goes, I mean, it's neutral -2, so. It's not like it's a positive anything. So yeah, hopefully if it gaps, it'll gap down.
Yeah.
I don't like saying hopefully, but I'm gonna have to this time. But yeah, I mean, as far as gold goes, like I said earlier, I've got it trailed really tight, but I might give it a little more breathing room.
Let's go have a look at it, Tiger.
Yeah,
Mr. Pete, Cherry, good morning, good morning.
Get my chat
what's up? Over here. Welcome, TGIF.
Chat. You know, I didn't even know about the pop-out chat until you mentioned that a while back.
Yeah, no, that's a great feature, actually.
It's a very good feature.
Yeah,
when you're on several different platforms all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hello Algo, Cherry, Mr. Peeps. Good to see you. Raymond, I see you as well over in Hola Prime TV. Feel free to flop over to Hola Prime Global or just at least bookmark it, because we'll be over there full time very, very soon. We still don't know the time or the date yet.
Hola Prime Official, right? Is that the same thing as Global?
Yeah, Hola Prime. I'm sorry, guys. Did I say that? I said that wrong. Yeah. Hola Prime Official. Hola Prime Official. So just whenever you get a chance, migrate on over there. And that'll be our new happy home, warm and cozy. Okay.
Pretty soon. So we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. We'll go the way of the dodo bird very soon, I think. So, but welcome. And yeah, as always, we do top setups that we're seeing on each of our ends. But feel free to interject at any time if you have a specific Forex ticker or gold, silver, Bitcoin, US index. Okay. Anything of that nature, and we'll be happy to take a look at it. So feel free to just blurt them out. But without further ado, Richard, yeah, gold, like I mentioned, it's up. So let me get over there. I got 9,000 charts open over here. Let me find it. And I don't, so by the way, I have it open. I have the trade open, and back end, I'll get you the specs here in a second. I didn't get it open on my demo account to where I could share it with you guys. So I'll just have to, I'll just go through the...
just talk us through it.
Yeah, the entry over here on the gold chart itself on TradingView, I'm trying to say. So
okay.
So yeah, let's see here, guys. I got into this gold trade. Of course, now I got to go double check, see exactly where I got in. 4,272, it looks like, is where I got in. So let's go take a look over here. Oh yeah, it was down in this area. 30 minute. Sorry, let me forget time frame. 5 minutes maybe. Yeah. So back over here, guys. This was at night. Or no, this was actually a little later in the day, morning after our show ended. I forgot about that, guys. Sorry. So we had this little zone created here, this little demand. Now this is I just saw it was a 30-minute demand, but in this 30-minute demand zone, I had one of the candles coming out and then coming back into the zone. So I actually put my little white line right there, guys, for a 5-minute demand. And I'm glad I did, because it just so happened it didn't even come down to the 30-minute zone itself. It came down to the 5-minute zone that was kind of peeping out of it. Okay. Right over here. So this is actually after it bounced off of the 5-minute zone itself. Okay, I saw these wicks, and this is actually where I got in the trade, was over here around, I guess it would have been at 1 p.m. my time, a little after 1 p.m. So just zooming on out.
What price was that? You got
price?
What price did you get in?
It was 42.72. So I guess it would have been a little higher up. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yeah, so in this area here. So yeah, it just kind of went sideways throughout the rest of New York, early part of Asia session, and then finally, finally around, well, this morning actually is when it finally caught a big ride up. So from there, guys, you can see it's just chilling up here. So yeah, 1,400 on one account, I think 600 on another account. So sitting about 2K unrealized. As always, it's unrealized. Okay, that's the price is saying, Tiger, take this now, or you might lose it all. Or it's Tiger saying, no, I think I can squeeze out some more today. Kind of like what you did. So,
2K is not anything to moan about. That's a good way to
exactly. I'm happy, and that's why I'm trailing the stop so tightly. I mean, this was obviously where my initial stop loss was. So currently, I've actually got it way up here under this little swing low here. So the only thing I'm debating this morning is, do I want to leave it there, or do I want to drop it below this swing low right here? So that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. It just depends on how greedy I want to be or how conservative I want to be. Okay, this is conservative up here, this is greedy down here, right? So I'll figure it out. I'll watch these next few 5-minute candles, couple 3-5-minute candles, and I may drop it down because I'd like to be in this move for the rest of the day, so long as it's going up, with it being Friday. Now, the other thing, and Richard and everybody in the chat, hello, Samuel. Good to see you. Good to see you. Something else I like to do as far as figuring out a stop loss when I'm trailing it like this is what have the most recent pullbacks looked like? So the most obvious one is this one right here, right? So I like to take my little measuring tool and measure and see how far of a pullback that was. So it looks like about, okay, $10.50, $10 half, okay? So that was a $10 pullback, and that looks like the biggest one at the moment. Now, obviously down here before the breakout, right, that's just kind of its own beast. It's going sideways. So since the breakout, that's really what I'm interested in. Hey, again, what can I expect it to pull back and still continue to raise? So I just measured, that was 10.5. So let's see where we're at currently. Okay, this is the most recent swing high and swing low. Okay, that's 11.11. So that's slightly bigger than this one, slightly deeper of a pullback. So I just want to know, I just want to be aware of that information so that when I trail my stop loss, I'm not choking it out, right? I'm not putting it under this swing low as an example.
Gotcha.
Now I'm under this one, but even at that, I'm probably still, I could be choking it out, or, you know, from where price is, obviously it could drop.
That's the thing with trailing, right?
Just never know. So, you know, the reality is I might lose, you know, 50, 60 bucks, 70 bucks, actually more than that, about 100 if I drop it down here and price goes against me. So this is what I'm doing, studying for the next, you know, 5-10 minutes, try to decide if I want to leave it here. Okay. And you guys see it's not that far away. It's only about $4 away. Or do I want to give it just a little more breathing room? And I've also got this little tiny swing high, okay, that could act as resistance as well. So there would be, you know, I'd color it blue. Okay, that would be that swing low. So could that act as resistance? And then
just a quick note there from Al Samuel. Yeah, he's already got that position open from yesterday.
Yeah, I opened it yesterday.
Yeah.
Bit my tongue. I opened it yesterday, so about 16 hours ago. Yeah, I typically do 1 to 4 day swing trades, Samuel. I just like that. That works for me. I've thankfully developed the patience for it. But yeah, I opened it yesterday, couple 3 hours after our stream ended, and just kind of watched it go again. I just watched it go sideways all day and all night. And then again, as I'm sleeping, that's just when it decided to pick up steam. So yeah, this is just trade management. That's all I'm doing. Trying to decide how much, you know, how greedy I want to be versus how conservative I want to be.
Yeah.
And as I look at that, Richard, that little baby former resistance point over there, I think I may have just talked. I think I may have just talked myself into dropping my stop loss below that, or my trailing stop. So okay, so I got it on that account now.
Just trying to open my chat here. I forgot to open this.
And over here, I've got this one moved as well. So there you go. All right, there we go, guys. I gave it a little more breathing room, so I did in fact move it from here to just down here. Okay, so there we go. And with this thinking, the way I see it is, yeah, I mean, if price comes down, I could reasonably expect it to get a little bounce there. And you've got a pretty strong you may even have a little strong zone in here. Now that's a 5-minute time frame, so let's go down to a 3-minute. Okay.
Just a quick few follow-ups there, Tiger. I'll read this to you. After the market moves in your direction, do you move your stop loss to break even? Or do you just keep your stop loss lower for a room to breathe? I guess that's probably when you initially in the trade, right? You got to give it some space. So, and then Mr. Peeps, just to maybe add to that, do you have a target, or are you just using a stop loss and not having a take profit?
I used to have targets. I used to just set it at 3-to-1 reward risk ratio and just let it be. And I would never touch the stop loss, and I would never touch the take profit. But I started getting annoyed after a while of seeing my 3-to-1 turn into what would have been a 5-to-1, a 6-to-1. Okay. So I personally, and this is different for everybody, but I'm to the point now in my trading career where I don't want to cap my wins. Early on, okay, if you're a new trader, it's good to get those wins. It's good to just knock out those wins. And you may even be of the mindset of trail stopping, but yeah, because that's what I did. I used to do that. And then after there's a funny saying where I got my learning, whenever you get bored of making money, change things. Okay, whether that's starting off at the smallest lot size that your broker allows to doubling it up, 0.1 to 0.2 pips, 0.2 pips to 0.5 pips. It's the same thing with managing your trade. Okay, it's early on. It's good to get those wins, just to kind of slowly start building your confidence. But after a while, my gut started telling me, okay, I'm bored of this 3-to-1 thing. Let's go for some of the bigger fish, reasonably, and obviously, making sure that I'm not jeopardizing, my money, my capital. Again, guys, job number one that we have is capital conservation. So yeah, to answer your question. Moving stops to break even, absolutely. My goal is always when I get a 1-to-1 reward risk, sometimes 1.5 to 1, but usually around that 1-to-1, 1.5 to 1, then yeah, that's when I'll take my stop loss, which obviously on this one started way down here. I just do a simple measurement. So if I look at the proximal line of the zone, or basically wherever I entered, I think I said 72. Yeah, so 42.72 is actually where I got in. So that was a little higher than I thought. Okay. Measure my entry point to the stop loss. Okay. Yep. That's 24.75. And then I want to go to the opposite end, 24.75 for my 1-to-1. Okay. Somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. And once price reaches there, which it did, as you guys can see right here on this candle, once price reaches that point, then that's where I take my stop loss and move it ahead of my entry, or enough to cover a cup of coffee. Okay, as I say a lot, even though I don't drink coffee, which is ironic because I say it all the time, right? Or a beer, energy drink, or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's goal number one: is get rid of my risk as fast as absolutely possible. And then from there, guys, it's a free trade. There's zero stress. So that's my comfort level. It may not be your comfort level, and that's okay. We have a lot of gray area in trading, a ton of it.
Yeah, the other thing is there's so many ways you can obviously trail or decide when to start moving, but I think probably the best thing is to try to keep that consistent, right? Because if you change around every single trade you take, you're never going to have that consistent type of profitability. So You know, when I scalp, for example, well, not scalp, I would say, but like, you know, I have a very short-term position open that I would like to keep open for short term, then I would generally take off a good portion of the trade at, let's say, a 1-to-1, and then move my stop to midway where it was, you know, so that when price does reverse, then at least you're walking away with, you know, maybe just to cover your commission, or at least a little profit, right? And then try to let that rest run, but also at the same time, not trading your stop too tight, so you get stopped out prematurely. So, because how many times does it happen that you're in a trade, you take profit, and then the next day you look back at it, and it still happens to me, and it's run like a 10-to-1, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's frustrating when that happens, but you know, majority of the times, sometimes price doesn't even reach your target, right? So if you have like a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3 ratio, so at least then you could like strail your stop, but not too tight to, you know, at least limit that risk.
Yes,
it's something that I prefer to do.
Yeah, and as far as those swings, guys, I mean, typically I'm just taking my stop loss and okay, so obviously I moved it to break even once I got to 1-to-1. Now this leg is actually a little difficult because it just went parabolic from about here all the way up, right? So normally I would just take and put it under the swing low. Like, I mean, if you want to call that a swing low for this area here, okay, if you want to call this a swing low from this little short little pause, and then this is the obvious one up here, right? So that's a great swing low to put your stop under, trail your stop. And obviously where I just moved it just now is under this demand zone. Okay, that's a nice demand zone. So if I weren't in this trade, guys, I'd be okay with buying in this spot right here. Or if I wanted to add to my position, okay, just buy in demand zones along the way. I don't really do that a whole lot, but there's a lot of people that do, and they just are amplifying their gains. So and then again, I was looking on a 5-minute time frame, and that's why I initially moved it up here. But yeah, I agree. I feel like I want to give it a little more breathing room because and keep it down here because again, guys, this is a brand new demand zone that's formed.
Yeah,
there's your demand zone right there. So if
I mean, that's a really good way to do it too. If you see a new demand zone, maybe just keep it underneath there, right? In the hopes that it will,
yeah, I always try to do that. I usually try to find a brand newly formed demand zone. If I don't, then obviously it's just the below the swing low,
gotcha,
the pivot point, if you will.
Here's another quick follow-up from Al Samuel. He's asking, but when you move your stop loss to break even and it comes back to break even and then rockets in your profit target or to your target, do you feel frustrated, or are you like mine? I have the mindset that you did not lose, but you actually, won.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
Well, sometimes it happens, and then it goes 3-to-1, 4-to-1, right? Yeah. It really, for me, very rarely happens. It very rarely happens because here's the thing. If it were a strong enough demand zone to make my 3-to-1, my 4-to-1 to begin with, then it wouldn't be retracing all the way back to the zone. When price bounces into a zone, it should, if I do my analysis correctly, it should continue. It should have a nice momentum candle or two out of it without retracing. If it retraces to knock me out at break even, then it wasn't that strong of a demand zone after all. No. So
Samuel, I'll add to that. It's like, it's obviously very frustrating because you've seen profits that could have been, right? So, but I also say, at least if you have some sort of like rule set of how you trail your stop and so forth, and you follow that diligently, then pat yourself on the back. You followed your strategy, right? So yes, it went to target. No, it was without you. Then you've done your job, because next time you will, hopefully have price reach that target, right? So as long as you don't move your stop loss further away like a lot of traders used to do or still do.
And to answer your question about take profit or profit target, guys, this is a 4-hour chart, so obviously price is over here. If I go back in time, you guys see I have a supply zone over here. Very strong supply zone. Okay. And by the way, guys, this is all in context of a daily supply. Okay, so if I go to a daily time frame, okay, you guys can see that green candle right there, and then a big momentum candle down. So that I mean, technically I've been in this trade in a supply zone this whole time, but kind of like what I might have mentioned either yesterday or the day before, you guys, I'm always looking for the daily 4-hour confluences. Well, it just so happens that the 4-hour part of the confluence is clear at the top of this supply zone. Yeah. Way back here. So I have reasonable faith that it'll at least get magnetized. Price will get magnetized to that upper end or towards that supply zone. So, you know, that's why I feel fairly comfortable. Now, if I'm a position trader, somebody that's looking at obviously monthly and weekly charts, well, I probably wouldn't be wanting to buy in this area because I'm in a supply zone, right? Yeah. But I'm just, you know, it just depends on the time frame. So for me, I'm just looking at the smaller time frames. So, yeah, you guys, I actually have my take profit at the moment. And again, this could change. Okay. But at the moment, I've got my take profit just below the supply zone, the 4-hour supply zone right there. And I wish I could pull up my chart, but I have it on a different browser and it doesn't allow me to copy it over. So anyway, yeah, that's tentatively my take profit. But as price gets a little closer, I'm going to trail my stop again. And then I'll probably take my take profit and see if we can break through the supply zone. Because we're already through the biggest.
And whichever one gets hit first, your trail or your target.
It's just a constant game of cat and mouse. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is the carrot. Okay. Price is the, what is it? The price is the, what,
the
rabbit
horse?
or donkey or whatever. And this is the carrot, the donkey or whatever. And then I'll just keep moving my trailing stop. Trailing stop up, take profit up.
Mm-hmm.
And that process just repeats until I eventually get stopped out. So I get stopped out of every single trade I ever take because I plan on it. Hey, come back and hit me out whenever this momentum is finally over. And that's how the profits are really made, guys. Look, I have a lot of boring one-to-one trades. I have a lot of tiny losses. Whenever I can hitch my wagon to something like this that's flying upwards, this is where my money's made. It's not made in all the one-to-one profits or the break-even, straight up break-evens. Okay.
Mr. Peep saying it's like either the ass or the donkey, depending on how the days go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So
100% agree there.
I need to get that over to.
Yeah, see that also Mr. Peeps used to get stopped out all the time because he had his stop loss too close to price. Yeah. Now he uses EMA lines to set a stop loss and find it work much better. Absolutely, whatever works for you. And you know, some people need some sort of a mechanical type of system as well. Because if there's too much subjectivity involved, like, you know, where am I going to trail it? Like Tiger would, for example, use a demand zone to trail it underneath. At least some sort of, you know, system, and not just like following a candle, willy-nilly area that you're going to trail your stop loss to. So again, I also mentioned earlier that just try to be consistent in your trade management, your trailing your stop and so forth, and not try to keep on doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and just a little trick, Mr. Peeps, again, is kind of what I showed earlier. Okay. We have to reasonably expect that we're at least going to get some type of correction, even on a big, strong uptrend, right? So just one simple thing is, you know, back over here, but forget this price action happened. Okay, during the intraday session, I wanted to look and see, okay, there's my swing high during New York. Now, where's the lowest point after that, or before that, or after that? Okay, right there, $23 from this highest point to this lowest point. So all throughout this price action, like especially if you're buying a breakout trade, which I don't buy breakouts, but if you did, you have to reasonably expect price to come back at least this much. So you'd obviously want to put a stop loss below it. And as we start climbing the ladder here, we get that first pullback. Okay, now I need to understand that I should reasonably expect price to at least correct on this uptrend or on this swing up at least $10.73 there. Okay, at least. So that's why, you know, again, I just simply measure where I'm at now, and it's dropped $14. That's fine. Take that $10.73 and just multiply it by like 2. Okay.
Yeah.
And just trail your stop that the whole way up. So, but yeah, I'll eventually get kicked out of this, and I'll be happy. Yeah, it's a good trade. And also because gold is on my top setups. Okay. Top setups over here. So gold's +9. Okay. So same as yesterday. I didn't see anything too crazy from yesterday to today's. I'm going to go ahead and delete yesterday's because it's nothing really changed that much. So we'll get this out of the way here. And I just separated shorts and longs over here, guys. Trying something a little different for you. And by the way, guys, my Edge Finder tracks several other things that I don't even trade just because I don't have it on any of my brokers. Platinum, copper, 10-year treasuries. So, you know, if any of you guys ever trade any of that stuff, or really any chart, it really doesn't matter. Just let me know because, you know, this Edge Finder does track a few other things. I just leave them unlisted. And it's on my list right now because they had some bug go into the system. So they're currently playing around with it. I can't pick my assets like I normally can. So that's why you see platinum and copper on there all of a sudden. But yeah, anyway, NASDAQ number 1 +10, gold number 2 +9. Obviously that's the one I'm in. Okay, Russell's on there, but again, I don't have Russell, so I can't take it off right now. But yeah, it's number 3. Euro yen is Forex pair. That's the number 1 Forex pair on the long side. And then Bitcoin, guys, you see Bitcoin there at +8. I have to take a look at that. And then a couple Aussie pairs, and that rounds out the higher end of the top setups. And we got several 5s and 6s, but when I got this many higher scores, I'm going to stick to the top half of this list. Unless I just straight up don't have anything near a demand zone, then I'll start going further down the list, see what I can find. But yeah, that's the longs. And then on the short side, yeah, pound Aussie's been at the top for the last couple of weeks, +15 -15. Number 1 short sell right there, and then pound New Zealand right behind it. And Richard's South African rand is on the list. So, and again,
what is that score on there?
-6. So
I see.
And as far as you guys, that's the reason I haven't been able to get my, as Richard calls it, my speed gauges up this week. Because again, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're doing something with it. They had a bug and they'll fix it. So since I don't have my speed gauges, Richard, I actually just put all individual currencies over here on the index itself, the currency index. So yeah, very quickly we could just take a super quick look through this. US dollar, guys, 41%. So that's 41% of report releases have beaten expectations. The neutral ones cancel out, so it doesn't get figured into this percentage down here. It's really only does it beat expectation or does it miss expectation? So yeah, within the last 7 days, that's what you see in orange. Okay, we've had a PCE report that came out bearish for the currency, but obviously bullish for our pocketbooks over here in the States. We had a jobless claims number that was ugly as well. Okay, bearish down here on yesterday. Okay, and then we did have a bullish number on the 9th for the JOLTS job opening. So a little mixed data in the jobs world. You had one bearish report, one bullish report, so kind of cancels itself out. Of course, we got our quarter point cut, a little on the dovish end from the speech, so we'll see how that translates into next month's rate release. But yeah, currently fairly neutral for the dollar. I don't really have a big reason to buy or sell this. Really, anything from 40 to 60%, to me, it's just kind of neutral. You know, it's kind of like my top setups. 5 or higher is a bullish score. -5 or lower is a bearish. But I prefer those higher scores. So 8, 9, okay? 8, 9, 10 plus. Those are the ones I prefer. So similarly in this currency heat map, you know, 40 to 60 is just kind of like, nah. No reason to really be too excited about it. So yeah, we'll just go down the list. Australia, okay? It's the strongest currency still, guys. 83%. It's only had one blemish, and that was their GDP report that they had back on the 2nd, so 10 days ago. They had a neutral report, but other than that, everything else has been great. They had their unemployment rate come out yesterday, 0.3%, or excuse me, 0.1% lower on the unemployment rate, so that's a good sign. And you know what, Richard? never said this, but I actually have, because Australia's economy is tied fairly closely to China's. Okay, whenever China's doing well, Australia gets, tends to get the benefit because of all the exports, all the exports to China. So I have here, Richard, the Chinese heat map. Look at this.
Oh wow! Is that a new edition, or is this something you started looking at now?
It's been on. It's been on my watch. It's been on the Edge Finder this whole time. I finally realized, I'm like, oh wait, well I don't have my heat map, my actual speed gauges. So let's just go down to the specific maps per currency. And then I remembered, oh duh, I've got the China report, and obviously it's tied heavily to Australia. So let's take a look. So we have an 83% for Australia, but China has a 66%. So that's good. Again, guys, 60 or higher, that's when my ears start perking up, like, I want to see about buying that, or minus 40%. Okay. If it's 40 or lower, I want to start looking for shorts. So this is buoying out the Australia dollar nicely, because it's got some pretty good, they've got some pretty good items going on over there. Okay. So, and then New Zealand very loosely is tied to China. New Zealand obviously is heavily tied to Australia. Okay. So it's a little more indirect as far as New Zealand to China, but Australia to China is quite, significant as far as the economic ties. So when China catches a cold, Australia tends to as well. When they're doing strong, then it helps Australia's dollar. So
they sneeze together.
They sneeze together. That's right. British pound sitting at 40%. Okay. Again, it's on the lower end. Not really too excited about it individually. Canada, same thing, 40%. Okay. They had some good unemployment rate reporting come out the other day. They actually dropped 0.5% off of their unemployment rate. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome, because they were sitting at 7%. Canada was. So, so that was a very welcome sign for the currency, okay, and the stock market as well of Canada. Dollar, we just went over euro, 50%. So it's right in the middle. Okay, they did have a pretty good GDP report a week ago Friday, or today actually, last Friday. Okay, they had a 0.3% gain as opposed to 0.2%. So that was a nice little report that come out, and it put it at 50%. So again, neutral, not too excited about it as an individual currency. The JEXI, the Japanese yen, 43%. Okay, they had a pretty bearish GDP report a week ago, or no, that was 5 days ago actually. And then the PPI was pretty neutral, so that kind of cancels itself out. So again, a little more on the
Tiger. Al Samuel's asking, is there a tab where you get all the economic data from, and how can I add it to my trading view? Samuel, it's a third-party software that Tiger's using, so it's not a trading view function or offering, if that's the right word.
Yeah. One thing I can tell you though is, let me see here. I think I have over here a list of all these items on it. I'm just looking off screen here. And oh yeah, here we go. Let's share this tab. Okay. So this is essentially the list. So one thing you could do, and obviously this video is always available for playback if you ever need to go back and refer to this, but this is really basically what I did before I had this third-party software is I wrote everything out on an Excel spreadsheet. So what I would recommend is just make a note of all these. Okay, all these, and actually you could even go and do something like this. If you were to copy all of these and then just go into DeepSeek or Grok or ChatGPT, you can actually just tell it to list it out. So like, let's do this. Okay. So we got Grok, and you can just copy and paste everything in, and it'll kind of lift. I think it will. Is it stuck? Let's try something different. Oh, wow, that's not even moving. Oh.
There we go.
Please. So you can tell it to do anything with the list. Please define each. Oh, it's actually doing it. Okay. So,
Nice,
you can take the list and ask it to do whatever the hell you want. List these in order of, importance. Which one's least important? How often is this report released? And you can just make your own little Excel spreadsheet with all the data. And, as you guys see this data come off of the economic calendar, okay, you can just go and plug in the actual numbers that came out. Make sure that you put the previous number. What was the previous reading? Hey, what did the economist forecast? And then what was the actual number? And you can just put, bullish or, beat expectations, missed expectations. Add up all the beat expectations, give it a point. Add up all the missed expectations, give it a -1, okay? Minus point. And then just look and see at the end, is it balanced out heavier on, beats expectations, just like I showed on my heat map, or is it on the bearish side? And from there, it can give you a reasonable bias as to whether or not the economists or the big banks are looking to buy or sell this asset.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot more work, which is why I have a third-party software, and I can't mention it on screen because we are in the middle, I think, of trying to get some type of a deal worked out, hopefully, to where I can. So stay tuned on that. But as of right now, yeah, that would be awesome. I'm excited. And then I could go through and show everything directly from the screen without having to copy and paste everything. It gets a little old at times, but I make do with it. So yeah, and then lastly, guys, the sexy, okay, SXY, that's the Swiss index. They're pretty good score as well, 66. Okay, so any chance I get to buy that, absolutely would like to. And then finally, the New Zealand, which is sitting at a 60%. So yeah, I may just start doing a quicker version of this until they get my speed gauges back up and running. VIX is down. Okay, nice and quiet over there. But yeah, Richard, I mean, I could go through some of my alerts, or if you had some things you wanted to show on the Dixie or anything. In the meantime,
I wanted to go through gold quickly.
Gold, yeah.
Since we started things off with gold, we can switch to my chart back end. Excuse me, guys. Hopefully I don't get sick today because I got caught out in a bit of a rainstorm on my motorbike today, which is great. So hopefully I'm sitting here with pants, but everything is wet.
Well, that was your first mistake. Being a covered car, boy.
Yeah, so whatever. Not a good way to start a Friday, but now the sun's shining. But anyway, 4 seasons in one day in Cape Town sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, so we were talking yesterday about the possibility that gold was nearing the end of a little triangle formation. More accurately, I would say, a symmetrical triangle.
Right.
All right. So, guys, we just got note that please switch on over to the Hola Prime official channel, guys. We're going to make, well, we're not going to be using the Hola Prime TV YouTube channel anymore. So if you're in the Hola Prime TV channel, there is a link apparently in the in the chat. Just go on over there. Please join, guys. Very soon, we're just going to be using the Hola Prime official account. So if it's not there one day, then that's the reason why. So please, guys, switch on over. It'll really be appreciated. Yeah. All right. Cool. Back to the charts. Where was I? This triangle. Yeah. How do I label exactly where this ended? Well, I think this is probably what happened over here. Excluding this little wick over here, an A, a B, a C, a little D, and this was actually yesterday. And I was waiting for price to break below this low here, and it didn't, and it lifted off. And a breakout. And we pretty much had a breakout of a triangle, and a classic type of entry would be a retest of the breakout, right? Which we had around about, this is on a 4-hour time frame, so a bit in the afternoon yesterday, and then lift off. So prices now reach this upper red warning line, second time around. The first time was after this impulsive third wave here, and this is just measuring again this sequence from the 18th of November, which I counted as 1, a 2, a 3, triangle completion for a 4, and now we're heading up in a 5th. Now, what I'm seeing here is that it is obviously at an area of resistance, but just looking at this breakout here, and this strong move over here being very impulsive, we can drill down a little bit more further into the nitty-gritty of where we potentially are with this next move to the upside. And let me just get my proper measurement tool out here. Then I would say this is a 1, a 2, still potentially a 3, a 4, and then a 5th. I need to make that a little bit smaller. I think we lost Tiger. He's back.
I'm back.
You're back.
Well, my computer had a Friday morning.
A little bit of a different color. So completion here yesterday. This was the breakout retest, and a 1, a 2, and we're still busy with a 3rd. Right. So I think you're on the right side of things there, and it looks like we're going to be breaking out of this upper red warning line. Taking a long right now for me personally would be a little bit dangerous, because I'm thinking we are heading up here on the 5th wave. Tiger was also mentioning that we're in that higher time frame demand zone, but also that being said, price is excessively close to all-time highs, right? Why is that not coloring the right way? There we go. 4380. I would not be surprised if we take out all-time highs, maybe even today, maybe Monday.
Hopefully.
All right. So this would then discount that this was corrective. I'll have to then get rid of all of these labelings over here, which I'm actually going to do right now. And what I'm seeing here is an ABC correction ended. And remember, I said there is that possibility that could have been the count to the downside, where we have an ABC, X, ABC top of I. But anyway, this overlapping format that we're seeing here, I'm counting now as a 1, a 2, very close maybe to a 3. Maybe we're going to do something again like this for a 4, and then a 5th. So an overlapping 5-wave structure, and then we've got to be careful, guys, because if that occurs, then I think the larger 5th sequence is potentially ended or coming very close to an ending. This after that breakout on the 30th of July, when that long-term multi-month symmetrical triangle ended. So first wave, second wave, impulsive third wave, 4th wave over here. I'm going to get rid of that so you can see a little bit better. This was probably just an A, B, C in itself. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 new highs. And then, yeah, I'll be careful. Maybe a much deeper decline at a later stage. This is rather interesting, because if price does follow, let's say it breaks the all-time high and we start moving lower, that's going to present a really good trading opportunity to get long again. I would definitely not want to short gold at the moment, although it is obviously at that upper red warning line. It is so close to that all-time highs. One has to now, I think, realistically say that this was the end of a 4th and not.
Richard, we did bounce off that 15-minute demand zone. I was just talking
did we?
about.
Did it test it?
Yeah, go down to a 15, take a look at it. And I'm glad I moved my stop loss, guys, because otherwise I would have been out of this trade.
Whoa, look at that. Beautiful.
So I probably owe Richard a percentage of my winnings, because I was almost going to leave it put, and he made the comment, well, you might want to give it some room to breathe today. Okay, so
look at that. Beautiful.
So thank you very much for that.
Beautifully tagged it, and it's off to the races. Nice one.
Yeah, let's go back real quick, because I wanted to show you guys
good stuff.
I wanted to show you guys
to Tiger.
Oh, it looks like, oh, there we are. Yeah, so again, guys, I had my stop. I had my stop initially under this candle here. Okay. Well, what happened? It came down. So let's look at this thing on a 1 minute time frame, guys. That's as beautiful of a bounce as it possibly gets. Let me get rid of that. Oh, sorry. Get rid of this crap here. I mean, look at that. It's just beautiful. Just barely wicked in, and you guys can see where the volume started picking up. This is exactly what I want to see. Let's say I wasn't in this trade. Okay. If I was trying to get in this trade, that's where I would have. This is exactly where I would have, been wanting to buy in. And this is the way I like to see zone bounces. Okay, 1 minute, maybe a 3 minute, 5 minute. Okay, going down to the refining it in smaller time frames. Like to see that big, lovely wick. Love to see it close at the top of the range of that candle. Love to see that volume start doubling or tripling up like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm excited. I'm excited because that tells me that we should be breaking this. We should be getting closer to the top of or to the bottom of the supply zone. So, and then guys, if we get another break above this structure here, if we get a close up in this area or even closer to the zone itself, then obviously that's where I'll take my stop loss and trail it up underneath this brand new bounce right here. So stay tuned on that, but woo, that's pretty cool. So anyway, back to you, Richard.
Good stuff. Right, so pretty much, you're on the right side of that, obviously. I think we're going to head to new all-time highs. Silver did that a little while ago, right? So,
oh yeah, silver.
Yeah, and now gold's obviously following. It was lagging a little bit.
Oh, that reminds me, Richard.
Because gold was mucking around here somewhere, and silver already went to all-time highs a little while ago on a 12th. Sorry, not even a 12th. Way earlier than that. What did you want to say, Tiger?
Well, that reminded me. So silver had bounced into a demand as well yesterday. You guys can see it right
this
there.
One here.
Yeah. So this was midday. Or no, I'm sorry. This was beginning of Asia session. But here's the funny thing, Richard. So when price came down and gave me the alert just ahead of this demand zone, I ran onto my computer here and I saw it. And my only thought was, why the hell did I put a alert on gold in that spot? Because I saw XAUUSD was my alert, but in my head, I was thinking XAUUSD. Well, I was already in the trade. So I'm like, why the hell did I put an alert on gold there? And then finally, about 15 minutes later, I realized, oh, you dope. That's XAG, not XAU. So by the time I realized that, price had already bounced up here and I missed my trade. Otherwise, I would be in this trade as well. But because I wasn't paying attention, guys, okay. I mean, look at that bounce on silver on this 5 minute candle, okay. Yeah, price was already up in this area whenever I realized that it was actually my silver alert, not my gold. So, price is up here. I didn't want to chase, guys. I don't want to chase that. I thought hardcore about it because I felt pretty strongly about silver going up, but I can't break my rules. Okay. If I would have gotten into that trade, I would be up in hindsight, but I'd basically cut my reward in half. My reward to risk was based off of here to here for a stop. Okay. And then up to here. That's so the bottom is 625, give or take. Up here was 612, so that's 1492. So that's better than a 2-to-1. Okay, this is step one in how I determine if I'm going to get into a trade or not. Is it going to pay me? If I have an opposing supply zone that's at least two units away, then that's good. If it's down here, if it had a swing high here and then come back, it's not as exciting to me. So it's got to move away from price quite a bit. So it was 2-to-1. Okay, a little over 2-to-1. But if by the time I saw this, the price was up in this area. So that basically would have cut half my reward to risk off. So number one, I didn't want to break a rule. Number two, I didn't want to chase a trade that at that point was only a 1-to-1 from the entry point to the stop loss or entry point to the swing highs. So Hopefully I explained that okay, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I was a dope yesterday, Richard. Back to you, my friend.
No worries, buddy. It sometimes can be a dope. At least it's admitted.
That's right. That's the first step, right? Is accepting.
Yeah. By the way, I just took a little stab at crude oil here just to see if I can get a little trade going. You can share my screen, guys.
Yeah, go back to yours. Look, did you buy it or sell it?
Sell it.
Sell it. Okay.
Just like an intraday trade. I think we're going to add a little bit of a correction, and now I want to trade it downwards. So back end, switch my screen, please. Very small trade, guys. Just taking a stab at it. I think I got a $50 stop loss and a $200 profit.
Yeah, I had considered buying it yesterday, but I wasn't getting a strong enough score. So,
back end, chart, please.
Back end to Richard, please. Views on pound dollar chair. We get to that for sure. Password, guys. Stick to the Discord. I'm not sure we're having one today. They did just let us know that. So yeah, just stick to Discord, and they'll probably mention something there. I don't know that we've got one. We're playing around with the configuration of it. So what was that?
There's no part, but at the moment there might be one a little bit later, so we'll see.
A little later today?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
AJ, just switch to my screen, please, bud.
Yeah. So check out the futures, guys. They may have something to announce. We don't have anything to announce this morning on that. Show.
Yeah. So I just took a little stab at this. Obviously, crude oil's been coming down a little bit today. Very strong move lower, and I'm hoping this was just a little bit of a correction. So that's pretty much it. Really not too much in the technicals here, guys. Just seeing if price can make a reversal and move to new lows for the day. So stop loss just above this little swing here. Not a big trade. I'm just trading 0.4 lots and see if price can break the start of what is hopefully a correction. So I'll update that on the position board shortly. And let's quickly have a look at the dollar index. Price has hit this low red warning line after this very strong move lower. So, and now it's bounced back up again. It's pretty weird how it's been respecting this downward sloping trend line. And that trend line was basically just drawn from these highs on the 12th of May this year to these little highs over here in October, like mid-October. And after that very strong breakout that we've seen finally above that downward sloping trend line on the end of October, we had a beautiful retest and it was off to the races. And now finally price broke below it again and it's now retested it from the bottom side. So who knows? The fact that it hit this low red warning line, it could just be a temporary bounce. So we'll obviously have to have a bit more clarity and see where things head towards next week, or by the end of today. Pound US dollar, on the other hand, what was that news that came out of there today? There was the GDP month-on-month, which was not that great. It was minus 0.1. No. And we've seen a little bit of a decline, obviously still very bullish. I'll be interested in taking a long on the pound US dollar if price can make it into this area over here. All right. So we got a lot of stuff happening there. If I had to just get rid of this pitchfork for the time being, I have a long-term pitchfork that's been on my charts for ages on the pound US dollar. And you can clearly see here from around about the beginning of this month.
Yeah, I like that.
Price finally broke it on the 10th of December. We had multiple tests of that line. And this is angular support and resistance I'm looking at here. In this case, angular resistance at this time might act as support. So You can see how price tried to get through there, wicked, finally break. It didn't actually retest it again. So we can make it back into that area there. I think that'll be a very nice spot to potentially look for a continuation back to the upside again. Right, so if I have to quickly mark that off for you, where that area is currently, plus minus upper end 1.3357, and the lower end around about 1.3343. So that's what I'll be looking at on the pound US dollar. And I thought I had an alert here. I did not. I'm going to add an alert. And hopefully price can make it into there today. Or whenever it triggers, guys. I won't even look at this chart again. And when that triggers, I'll start focusing on it. So that is, I think, a really good area to potentially go long. What was your thoughts
I like it too.
Did you have a demand zone there somewhere?
Yeah.
What time?
Let's see here. I thought I had it on my top setups. Maybe I don't. Yeah, the demand zone. Let's see.
15 minutes.
At the 133.6, 1.336.
It's already touched that, 133.6. No, well, very close to it.
Yeah, it's gotten close. Yeah. But it's like a little 15-minute zone.
It is a very small one. But that being said, it's over there, right?
1.3362.
Yeah. So maybe even if price would get into that area and we start seeing a bounce out of it, maybe this whole thing is just an A, B, C type of vibe, and then see a move back to the upside. I would just use a little bit of a wider stop than just looking at that very sort of thin demand zone. Stop probably, where's my risk reward meter? There we go. Let's say you get long, price gets in there, we see a bounce back up. I'll put my stop loss around about 1.3340, give or take. And if you were to then swing this back to the upside, if this was corrective, it's obviously fair to think that price will then break the end of the start of where the correction started from. And even that's like a 2.5, maybe even a bit bigger. Very close to a 1 to 3 hour.
I like it.
So that is not too shabby. So I got an alert there. I'm actually going to move this a little bit up to where you've got that demand zone. And let's see.
I think the only knock I can put on it, Richard, is the fact that it is technically bouncing from a daily supply zone. But, you know, I think that's the only real knock. But even at that, it's not like there was a lot of volume that was created in that zone. If you look further back on like the October 20th candle, October 20th daily candle. Now it doesn't, it's a red candle, but it does have a gap below it. I don't know if I'm too worried about it though, because even when it was created, it was again really light volume.
That being said, I mean the current, at least intermediate term, is up. So the further it can get away from there or lower down, you know, at least try to trade back towards it. I would say it's probably a good thing. I'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I got an alert there, and that's what I'm looking at currently. What was the other one? XAUUSD.
Aussie.
Also had a very strong drop here yesterday from Wednesday, actually. Now, I was actually hoping for something like this, and I don't know if we're going to get it because it's been so damn strong. So initial drop lower. Is this just corrective? Something like this would be ideal for me. Maybe till about 0.6620. I don't want to buy into this that high up. Maybe for another intraday trade, maybe an overnight trade or something like that. So here's also an alert that I would like to place close to this previous lows over here. We got a lot of market geometry areas there. And similar to what I've shown you on the pound US dollar, here we had a geometry level Yes, price sort of, bounced around it and then finally broke above it. Support, 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 support. And maybe it comes back to it again. We probably have a demand zone. Oh, this is quite a big one, isn't it? Or do you have one round about here somewhere? On the 8th of December?
So,
but it's been tested already, huh?
Well, yeah, that's the higher time frame, yes. I actually did draw one up, I think, on way down on a 10-minute time frame, maybe. Let me double check. I think that was what it was. Yeah, 10 minutes. So it's basically right in the center of that area, of that big candle. It's basically kind of in the center. If you went down to a 10-minute or a 5-minute, you could see it even. If you don't have 10 minutes on your chart there.
No, I've got it somewhere. What was it? 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes the way I saw it the best. Oh yeah. That's Trading View, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little 10-minute one hiding in the kind of in the center of it.
From around here.
Yeah.
On the 8th of December.
Yes.
Let's just open this up. Oh, this tiny one over here.
Yeah.
There we go.
There it is. Now, for me, the reality is, though, I would probably, because I've got it drawn up because I'd like to buy that same area. But
that is a very nice lineup with the geometry.
Oh, yeah. And then obviously the only question is, Richard, do we put the stop loss just a few pips below the 10-minute zone itself, or do we put it below that entire swing low, right?
This one, yeah.
Yeah, the bottom of the candle. So that
I would rather put it down here below the swing. It may be something like this. Let's say you get long, get a bounce, price move up, makes contact with the demand zone, makes contact with these geometries. And let's say you get long around about there. I mean, the upside potential on this is enormous still. I mean, this is almost a 1 to 3.
2 to 1. I mean, so
like that.
Yeah, guys, that's perfect. I mean, that's the conservative approach. If you wanted to be aggressive, okay, everybody's different. Then you would put the stop loss below the 10-minute zone itself.
No, I'll actually place
but that's definitely the better
as well.
Higher probability.
See how it goes.
Big Dan, what?
We can switch back to you, Tiger, if you don't. You have anything else to show? Big Dan's asking about gold.
I have a very favorable view of gold, Big Dan. It's currently paying. Oh shit! I better. Did it? Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry. I thought I had hit my take profit line. No, gold is doing well for me. Go over here to my gold chart. So gold is bullish, number one for me. Besides the chart, I'm talking over here. Okay, gold's giving me a very bullish score of a 9. 5 or higher is bearish. -5 or lower is bullish. Bearish. 5 or higher is bullish. -5 or lower is bearish. Get that straight. And that's just a combination of all the fundamental readings: GDP, inflation, jobs, growth, all that. Okay. So with gold giving me as far as fundamental analysis and sentiment analysis, okay, that's what this is, where this is factored from. Technically, same thing, pretty good. So daily time frame, higher highs, higher lows. Obviously, it's going to be the same on the 4-hour. But I actually got into this trade down here. I'll just briefly go through once again. Okay, I had this little 15-minute or 30-minute demand zone, Dan. So I got in right here off this bounce, and you can see it's just going up nicely. So I like it. At the outset of the show, I did mention if I was not in this trade, I would definitely be interested in getting into this trade right here off this demand zone. So I actually took my stop loss once again and moved it from way down under that zone to right under here, because, again, perfect spot to buy this thing. I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than that. Again, you go down to a 1-minute time frame, you see the bounce with the volume picking up. So we've missed that. Okay. So that one's done. And now we just keep climbing the ladder and seeing if we have any newly formed zones. Okay. I mean, you could look at this area, but I just don't really like the way it's. I guess you could do this. I'll tell you what. You could, now that this one's been hit, I'm just going to get it out the way. Okay. Now on a 5-minute time frame, you've kind of gotten another one created. Okay, there's another demand zone. Why? Well, you had a couple basing candles, 3 basing candles. Okay, you had your leg in, a few basing candles, big strong leg out with volume spike, and obviously that volume is because of the unfilled orders that the buyers caught in this from this area, this demand zone. So it creates its own zone, guys, and then that price action is now broken this high. So you have a momentum leg, broken structure, volume spike. What else can I look at? Well, and context of an uptrend, context of fundamental and sentiment analysis, bullish scores. That could be potentially be another place to take a little buy. I mean, again, if I wasn't in my trade, if I didn't buy this demand that already got hit, okay, might be looking for this, something like this. Okay, this zone clearly is over with. When a zone is hit, for me, I'm done with it. It's mitigated. It's dead to me.
You want the fresh ones.
It's a one-time use only when it comes to supply and demand zones. So that's why I'm obviously going to paint that one a light green, because that means it's already been hit. Okay. So anytime you guys see a discolored zone, it's because there's something I don't like about it. Okay. Maybe it had poor volume when that zone was created. Maybe, again, maybe it's already been mitigated. It's already been touched. Okay. We're all about it. That's when you'll see the different colors, because I usually just tend to use the darker red, a darker green and darker red for my zones, for my fresh, healthy zones. So this one currently is a fresh, healthy zone. Okay. So that would potentially be the next move. I mean, you're sitting there not too far away, obviously 43.29. But yeah, I like everything about it. Let's look higher though. We have to keep this in mind. Higher time frame. Okay. We're through the bulk of the daily zone. Now you guys see that the zone was hit way back here on November 13th. And what happened? Okay. The daily supply took over. Price dropped. So again, the daily has been mitigated. And then it got mitigated over here. Okay. Throughout all this time. So that's why I felt reasonably okay with buying in the middle of a supply zone. If this supply zone had not been hit over here or over here, I would be a little more sketched about entering that position I entered in yesterday, okay, midday. But because it's already been mitigated, it's not as big of a worry to me. What is the worry is the 4-hour supply zone hiding back over here. So if you get into this trade, Dan or anybody else, okay, just be aware that you got a strong supply zone over here. And I say strong because it had a huge momentum down move. Now, there wasn't like a gigantic ton of volume coming out of it. Okay, volume spread analysis. It's not like it had a yellow candle or a red candle. Elevated volume, elevated trading action, right? So that makes me a little okay with kicking the can down the road like I did with my take profit. So like if I go back to my trade, well, I can't see it on here. That's why I actually right now, guys, I actually have moved my take profit just ahead of the zone itself. And then I currently have my stop loss down in this area. Just go back to my 15. So yeah, so I've currently got my stop loss right here. So basically where I put that green line earlier. Now that we've made that high, guys, it wouldn't be the worst thing if I did go ahead and now trail my stop. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it with a little bit of wiggle room, but this is where you could go ahead and move it on up a few pips. Okay. Going below this swing low. This wasn't here earlier when we were looking. The only swing low we had was over here, the demand zone. But now that we broke this structure right here, okay, broke that structure, that creates a new swing low. So the conservative thing to do would be for me to go ahead and move my stop, my trailing stop right there. Get that out of the way. Okay. So, yeah, I like it. I like gold, but just be aware of the overhead resistance, the overhead supply. That it would not
new
surprise
all-time highs, baby. Watch
Yeah,
it.
it would. I hope. No, I mean, I'm hoping for it, but it won't surprise me if price comes into the zone
Oh, yeah.
and then the bottom falls out.
Get everyone excited about that. And
Yeah.
I think they go to all-time highs. You should be long already like you are.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would just be careful if you're getting long, just know that you're paying a premium. Okay. You're paying a hefty price and you're about to bounce into a double top. Okay. Over here. So just be aware of it.
Jerry, I'll have a look at the US 30 for you in just a bit. I've seen you ask the question there. I've actually had some geometry pulled up on there a few days ago. It's not one of my favorite markets, but some really interesting geometry. We'll
yeah, and you'll have a way better. You'll have a way better take on it from a geometry standpoint.
It is really very useful to use geometry, especially if prices
for times like this.
Yeah,
right?
And it's if you look left, price is just in the sky. Yes. No, Tiger sharing his chart at the moment. We can.
I'm just about done though.
Just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that. He'll have a better answer for you because for me, I always look for supply and demand zones. And if I look above and to the left, guys,
there's none. Yeah.
Now, we'll be in this same predicament if we break that high that we were just talking about. So then I'll be more reliant on Richard's take. Okay. Because I don't have any overhead supply zone to look back and worry about. Here's the thing. If this thing's going to the moon like it is right now, you don't want to get in front of it. Okay. The only thing that, as far as, because your question was, do you think it'll correct to the downside? Well, for me, I would at least on a 4-hour, but preferably a daily, I would at least like to start seeing some lower lows and lower highs for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we get something like this confirmed, low, and then this lower low.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with the highs, higher, lower high, lower high, low, lower low, lower low. We don't have that. We have nothing but upper, higher highs and higher lows. So
yeah,
I ain't going to predict anything.
Anyone's guess. I mean, we're looking at the NASI, SPX all down during the overnight session, but will the US 30 follow? Not sure. Again, like Tiger said, we had all-time highs, so it's obviously very difficult. All I can say is, like, where do I think we might correct towards if we do drop? And maybe we can switch to my chart quick.
Yeah, let's switch to yours. I think I'm pretty well set. That's my focus for the day, guys, is gold. I mean, I'm going to try to look at some of these other top setups as well. But
so this is basically the angles I've got on the US 30, right? Now, all of these internal little lines over here is just drawn parallel to the main channel and then projected from previous highs, like from this little high over here. And this is done after the fact, guys, all right? But it will work for a long time if price were to revert back to it. And the reason I do that is if you were to use that same angle, you want to go and see visually that angle acted as support resistance in the past. Yes, it did. September.
That's so beautiful.
October. It blasted through there recently. Similar sort of thing here at these little highs that we have over here. Same thing again. From that high, resistance for multiple occasions, right? Even recently, in the beginning of this month, right? So with price being at all-time highs, I think the obvious target or upside potential would be this upper channel. But obviously this price will change dynamically as time goes by because it's sloping upwards. But today, at price, around about 49,100, give or take, right? But if we do get a correction after such a damn strong move to the upside, one would then, hopefully start rubbing your fingers and, say like, damn, that could really provide me with a good entry. So if we were to slope lower, maybe towards 48,525, or even lower than that, towards 48,250, are these same angles that I've left on my chart, and they'll make really good buying levels or angles, right? If that makes sense. Also, this massive fair value gap over here. Price could probably move right into that, maybe even 50%, get into this area. So if we do move lower, Jerry, I'll definitely not be shorting it. That's for sure. I'll be waiting to see if price can hit one of these areas. But we also have this previous strong high here from the, what was it, 12th of November. If I have to go and drop the price line in there, that's at 48,420. So again, that's sort of like in the middle between these two angles. But when price reverts back to them, there's a very high degree that it will actually find support in one of these lines. Which one? I can't tell you. But
you can tell me, Doctor.
I just got no idea. Where's that other smart little rotated rectangle of mine? There we go. Let's see if I can get this right. It's a bit finicky sometimes. There we go. So that would be an area of interest. How deep it goes, maybe just to the upper one or the low one for support. Should price move lower? But there you go. You got your upside target. Because price has been respecting these same angles extremely well in the past. It would probably be drawn towards that upper channel line. If it does do that, keeps on going higher, then, you know, I would want to be long, let's say at 49,000, because just overhead, you'll have this upper channel line. But yes, Jerry, if we move lower today, those are the areas I'll be looking at to potentially go long. And it's actually good that you mentioned that. I haven't traded the US30 in a long time, so I'll place an alert there and maybe see if price can get to that level soon.
Closing in.
What was the other one? Crude oil, right? And this is a good example. Crude oil. Just using 3 anchor points, you can see how well price respected these angles, right? Even these little internal ones. And that's why I draw these angles, not just using the main ones, which are these blue ones, to try and figure out on a daily basis where support and resistance can come in. So that's what I'm seeing on the US30. Like Tiger was saying, there's no supply zone on the upside at the moment. So it makes it really difficult to figure out how high it can
to the moon.
Go. Yeah.
It's going to the moon. No.
All right. Anything else you want to add there, Tiger?
Not necessarily to that one. Yeah, NASDAQ. I mean, yeah, I was just looking at euro dollar. It's getting fairly close to a demand. So it might be something I'll be looking at here as the stream ends, because we're still a little bit of ways away from it. But yeah, euro dollar, I was just verifying my score. Guys, is there anything else you want us to take a look at? Judzer, I see your thought over there about gold. Yeah, I think I answered you on that. So
yeah,
I don't think I'm seeing anything else.
Just before sorry, you go on.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
No,
mention,
I got nothing.
Yeah.
No,
AJ.
go ahead.
AJ, Australian dollar, Japanese yen.
Oh, I thought you was
a
calling
double
for
bottom yesterday.
back in. I thought you was calling for AJ and back in.
Oh no, not that one.
Not you, AJ.
Just a shortened version of saying the whole thing out. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Created a little bit of a double bottom. And it's now moved up. So I missed that trade. There we go. You were mentioning that yesterday, right? It's very high on your list. With a big number somewhere, wasn't it?
Oh, AJ. Or also, yeah, it's a +8.
Yeah.
+8. Bounced beautifully off that demand. Look at that.
Boom. Did you take that, or did you have any alerts there?
I did not. What time frame you got there? 4 hour.
Damn it. I mean, I'm just looking at a 4 hour. I'm just
I did not take that.
Wondering if we can actually make a move lower, if this we worth getting into maybe another sort of trade for next week. Do we have any demand zones that formed on the way up now?
I have one down on, like I have an alert set at 103.37. So I think but there's a new one that has been formed. So yeah, let me see. I got one down on.
We can switch to yours. I'm actually gonna then trace that same zones onto my
okay.
charts.
Yeah, I mean, closer to the bottom end of that momentum leg up, there's one, but a little closer. Let me go back to 4 hour real quick. Sorry guys, let me zoom in here. So yeah, so we're paying attention to this little leg here. So let's go down to a 1 hour. Okay. Now this is this is a little closer to the upper end of this swing high or swing low. Okay, this swing low and then leg up. But you guys see that we do have a 1 hour right here chilling. Okay, so there's a 1 hour demand.
Chilling.
We had a momentum leg here, guys. Now this leg broke a structure. Okay, it broke this structure to the left. You guys see I drew it out or yesterday. This is the one thing. This is just another area of where I'm critical about this feature on a zone. You guys see that we had this basing action, and then obviously the leg out. I like to see the basing candles. I prefer to see the basing candles at least be the same, you know. I like to see them down here with this one. So like we got this wick, this underneath wick for the leg out candle. I personally prefer my basing candles to be down there as well. As you can see, this one's way up here. It may not seem like a lot, okay? But we clearly didn't come down on the basing. Now, obviously, I'll rope this candle to the left in this example, okay, because this one did. So yeah, I would basically, rather than drawing my zone like this or like this, I would actually incorporate this candle over here to the left. So that would be one. Now, why am I changing colors on this candle all of a sudden? Because it's already been hit. Okay, this demand zone actually worked out already. See this little wick? So that wicked in and touched the wick of this candle, the basing candles. So it's mitigated. Means it's dead to me. That's why I pasted it. That's why I colored it white. Okay, it's white as a ghost because it's gone. Can't bring it back. Pull the plug. So I got to ignore that area and now look deeper. Let me go reset my chart again. Okay, so that's old. So I'm just going to delete it so I don't get excited about it again. And then obviously we got the zone lower. So you know, yes, by definition this is a 1 hour demand. But look, did this give me a 2 to 1? Let's go the proximal line of the demand zone and measure down to the distal line of the demand zone. That's 13 pips. Now let's measure 13 times 2 because I have to see it at least go 2 to 1, but preferably 3 to 1. What's 13 times 2? It's 26. Well, what's my swing high show? It looks like 22 pips. So is that 2 to 1? No. 2 to 1 would be up here. Okay, you guys see we're clearly short. We're short of the mark. So do I really want to pay that much attention to this hourly demand zone? Probably not, because it's got to pay me. And this demand zone has not broken an overhead supply zone. Where's my next overhead supply zone? Well, this looks like it'd be a good area, except I can't look at it on an hourly basis because you guys see these wicks down here? They overlap this wick over here. That's an efficient price structure. So let's just go down to a 30. Do I have a 30? I do. See that green candle at the very top? Look at the bottom of the wick. Does it overlap a candle to the right? It does not. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that would be my first inefficiency in the market on this down leg, because that's where my gap is. Okay, got my gap from the bottom. Actually, I'll just draw it like this. Okay, bottom of that candle to the top of this candle. Okay, there's my gap, my inefficiency. So I would wrap my supply zone rectangle from the bottom to the top, just like that. Did we touch it? We haven't. Again, I personally am not interested in this demand zone because this price action did not even have the strength. Number one, it didn't have the strength to go 2 to 1. But number two, it's yet to bust through an overhead supply. Okay. So I want to pull this line forward. If I was excited about this demand zone, it's only because it's done this and then returned to price. But it's not done that. I did not get this price action. This would be a good reason to buy this, buy that demand zone. But we haven't done it yet. It's got to show strength. It's not yet showing strength. I'm ignoring this demand, and I'm just going to look to the demand that's lower, that has at least been able to push price through some demand or through some swing highs. Hey, this demand zone down here pushed through this swing high, broke the structure, okay, and then it broke this structure, and then it got into this one up here. So if I go down to my 15, or no, that was a 10-minute, no, 5-minute. Sorry guys, 5-minute demand zone. Okay. Right here, that's going to be my point of interest, and that's where my alert is. Even that leg out candle, look how nice and strong that looks. Okay, broke this top, broke this top, broke this little bit of a supply zone over here. So it broke a few tops. Hey, that's that change of character. That's the change of character I like to see, breaking through swing highs, and then it just kept on going. So that's why this is going to be my favorite area for me personally. So yeah, that's going to be 103.35 area for the proximal line of that demand zone.
Cool. How are we doing on time? We still got 4 minutes left here. Yeah, guys, just quickly in the comment section there, we got the link for the next session that's coming up with the Futures coaches. So it is in the chat there if you're interested in watching.